Welcome everybody to the first in a monthly series of fly patterns brought to you by Ultimate Sport Fishing Adventures. Well, it's January and that means steelhead season. So we'll start off by tying a popular fly called the purple egg sucking leech. Now I don't profess to have any superhuman fly tying abilities, but I've been able to put a 2/0 hook in a vise and some peach thread on the hook. So let's start off here. We're going to tie in a tail piece of marabou, and what I do is I just kind of measure the shank of the hook and tie that in the same length. Just bind that in nice and tight. And clip off the excess and bind down the tips. The next piece of material we're going to use is some crystal flash. I've got about 2 inches here, and I kind of line it up with the tip of the tail and bind that in halfway over the top. Gives it a bit of flash, and then I turn that over to the other side and bind that in on the other side. So it's kind of on both sides, gives it a little bit of a flash in the water. Looks good. Next piece of material I'm going to tie in is I use 2 saddle hackles, purple saddle hackles, and I tie those in by the tips. You want to have the shiny side facing back, just tie those in, just like so. Trim off those tips, tie that in tight. Now, I like to use chenille for the body. I've got some purple chenille here, and it's about a medium chenille. I just strip off the end pieces and get down to the core and tie that in as well, leaving that just kind of hanging there off the back. Bring my thread forward. Now you want to make sure you leave enough of the hook so you can tie your egg on the end, and I just take that chenille forward, keep wraps nice and tight, just like so, and tie that off. 2 or 3 turns is good. Snip off the excess, and I use a technique called palm ring. So a lot of people use hackle pliers. I just kind of use my fingers and wind that forward. But when I wind it forward, I try to keep all the barbels facing backwards. So I'll pinch those back so they kind of face back. You want them with a slight lean towards the rear of the hook, like so. Yeah, a couple more wraps. Kind of manipulate it to where you want it. Just like so. These are a little long, but tie those in there. Clip off the excess. Now we're going to use a medium-sized chenille for the head. Once again, pick off that little bit of fluff, tie it in by the tips, bind it in there well. Need a little bit of room to tie off your head. And, you know, a couple, 2, 3 turns. You don't need a lot. And tie that off. Snip off the excess. Pull back the barbels, pull back the chenille, tie a nice little head in there, build it up. I try to use the same colored thread as I'm going to use for the egg head. Whip finish. Oops, stay in there, you. Get away on me. Quick whip finish. Snip off your thread. Little drop of head cement, top and bottom. And there you have the purple egg sucking leech. Make sure you take that with you in your fly box when you go out steelhead fishing. You're going to shortchange yourself if you don't have that with you. So we'll check back next time with the next pattern. That's all for now. Bye-bye.